All right, so it's been a while since I've done one of my off the table talks. Just had a lot going on, the events going on, and a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. Good stuff. It's going well. Um, what I want to discuss today is a deep one. It's a big one to me, really big one, and fortunately, I'm able to discuss it for once without it being coming from a place of guilt. So, what I want to discuss today is pride. Pride. I want you to take a second and think about maybe a relationship with someone. I'm not talking about like a significant other, but I'm talking about like a relationship with a friend. Hell, maybe a parent, sibling. I'll talk about that in a second. Or a significant other, where pride is the reason that relationship's no longer intact. So a lot of times our mouths get the best of us and we say things. I'm not gonna say things we don't mean. Majority of the time we are saying things that we mean. We just shouldn't say it. Think it, don't say it. You ain't always gotta say it. A lot of times we won't just apologize because we don't want to be the person that's showing weakness. My God, come on. Y'all, pride cost me 5 years of being away from my wife. Pride cost me that. Because I was sorry and apologetic for things I'd done to hurt our relationship, but I couldn't forgive myself. So shame and pride came into play. I wasn't willing to make myself vulnerable because I had an image I was wanting to upkeep, wanting to be Sigma, but more so coming across as Alpha, putting up a strong guard. The pride is near and dear to me because once I started swallowing my pride and letting my guard down and making myself vulnerable, I became a better father, better man, better husband, better son, certainly a better brother. Pride cost me my relationship with my brother, my actual brother. He and I had words. We could have easily resolved it in a matter of a phone call. Didn't do it. I didn't see him for a couple years. Next time I finally saw him was when he was in a casket. Still hard to talk about, think about. Still hard to look at his children and his wife, knowing that maybe if I could have fixed helped fix our relationship, things could have been different. Maybe it would have changed the outcome of his life. I don't know. But I don't know that it couldn't have because I didn't try. Proverbs 11:2. It's on my arm. I've said this before, podcasts, the most near and dear scripture to me. Proverbs 11:2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Pretty self-explanatory. When you're prideful, you're like a fool. Like a fool. A damn fool. When you can be humble, when you can swallow it, that's when you start learning. I don't give advice. I've said this before. Do not give advice. This is an area I can certainly give some experience on, as is most of the topics we discuss. But this is one. Give a lot of experience on. Being able to discuss pride with someone. Samantha and I both used to be very prideful people. we now can openly discuss when we are being proud. And she's grown just as much as I have. I could not be more proud of her. She's grown just as much as I have. I see my sister. She too is a proud person. Won't admit when she's wrong. Used to, but she wouldn't admit when she was wrong. We're going to argue just to be right. Even, like most of us would be dishonest to try to be right. Because they were too proud. Like most of us, she was too proud to admit she was wrong. I see her and her wife. Her wife has peeled those layers back on her and brought a better side of her out where she can be open, honest, discuss things without fear of remorse or judgment. And that's where I've finally gotten to with anyone. If I'm wrong, just admit it, move on, learn from it. Happens again, we got another problem. But I've always said I'm quick-witted and quick-lipped. Too smart for my own damn good a lot of times. And I let my mouth get the best of me to this day still. It's my biggest opportunity. It's what I'm working on. So my pride still comes into play occasionally. What I catch myself doing though is my dwelling time is a lot shorter. The other day, Samantha and I had a spat over the phone. It was something stupid, something silly. I mean, really, when I say silly, I'm talking about it originated based off of cell service. And I didn't want to call it back and say I'm sorry or whatever. But as soon as she walked in the door, we're talking 20 minutes later, as soon as she walked in the door, I followed her to our bedroom to talk it out, and just like that, it was squashed. I told her something like that we would have fought about for a week. 5 years ago, we would have fought about that for a week. But she and I both was wrong in some level, in some amount. And we squashed, and we had a great evening. We wouldn't have done that 5 years ago, y'all. Come on, and be a better person. Grow. If you're not growing, if you're letting your kids watch you be this proud person, this argumentative person, hard to get along, stubborn, guess what? They're going to do the same shit. They're going to do the same shit. Do you want that for them? Do you want that for them? Do you want your kids, your grandkids to see them do that so they'll be the same way and it's just a never-ending pattern? Don't break that cycle. A lot of times it's the examples we've had set for us that we begin to mimic. And now I can honestly say I don't think I necessarily had like most of my opportunities, most of my bad, my colorful past. I did not have examples of like that set for me in my home. I came from a great home with my parents. I created that myself through my ego. But my kids see it now, and I don't want them to be the same way. I want them to avoid that. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to break that so it does not go into them and their home and their kids' home and their kids' home. So just think about your pride and think about the relationships or the scenarios that you could have avoided if you could have just shut up or said you're sorry. Turn the other cheek. Think about that. Think about maybe a relationship you've got right now that's broken. When I'm saying relationships, guys, I'm not just talking about significant others. Like I used my brother and I. If you've got a sibling or a family member or someone that you can mend by picking up the phone and saying, hey, I'm sorry. Do that. Do that. Sorry, someone's drying their hands while I'm in here. But do that. You'll be glad you did. And if they don't accept your apology or they don't feel the same way, you won't have that on your conscience. There won't be guilt on your conscience. You tried. but try. All right. Thank y'all for your time. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. Think about what you're doing today to make the world better. Think about what you're doing for your community to make it better than it was yesterday. Think about whose life you're touching today. Right now, I'm talking to a young man who I see a lot of myself in when I was his age. And I'm trying to reach him by not giving advice. I'm trying to reach him by telling him who I am now and who I used to be. Let him make that decision. Like I said, love y'all. Have a blessed day.